Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. Yes, I know it's been a while. I'm so sorry. A lot has been happening, you know, like with my mental health and everything going on with school and my parents and all these things. It's been a lot, so I'm really sorry I disappeared off of the face of the earth. I promise it's not going to be like that anymore from now on. So yeah, well, today's topic is police abolition. I promise it's worth it. So without further ado, let's talk about it.
I'm so indecisive, you can cuff me, but I'm wifey. I just want a nigga who gon' slurp me like a icy. Bitches bite me so hard, had to put them on a diet. Bitches ain't no tryouts, so hoe, you better not try me.
Like today, policies were different in the North than they were in the South, of course. But this system, they effectively created a an economic system that was maintained through fear, brute force, and surveillance, which, let's be honest, is not that different from what we have today. Let's be honest here, you know? And its sole purpose was to control Black people. Again, like everything else is always, like it always is in America. Let's be fucking honest here, y'all. So they invented basically the ultimate boundary. And even after the Confederate flag, I can't talk today. Even after the Confederate War, nothing really ever changed, which is why the system is so problematic. Even with Jim Crow laws, even after Jim Crow laws, the Revolutionary War, nothing really changed for Black people. So as the more civil rights started as more Black people started gaining civil rights, the liberties like that they got, like the system itself never evolved. So the system was created to treat Black people like trash, and it was never amended. Is that the word I'm looking for? Y'all, English is not my first language. I don't know. So yeah, but the system was never like amended to like fit, to basically teach them to treat Black people like human beings, you know? So it was never reformed. That's the word I'm listening. So yeah, so after that, after the Emancipation Proclamation, the patty rollers became the KKK members. So the beatings and whippings were now replaced by the shootings and the lynchings. One of the obvious signs that the system had like no change whatsoever is the fact that they kept the same badge, which I will put somewhere around here. Yeah, and later on, investigations shown that all law enforcement had, well, not all law enforcement, sorry, I don't know why I said that. 51% of all law enforcement had some ties to white supremacy from Facebook or joining the literal KKK. I'm just saying, have y'all ever seen officers at a KKK rally? And if not, I'm just saying you've never seen Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus in the same room together at once. Let me go blend this out, and then that's not to mention their training is seriously lacking. For every 58 hours of shooting practice, they only do about 7 to 8 hours of de-escalation. That's about 7 times more time practicing on shooting than they do de-escalation, which is literally insane. So you're sending these people, if you can even call them that are going into these neighborhoods where they were never taught, to teach people with no socializing skills, with no de-escalation skills, and only shooting training, and y'all thought that was just like a good idea. Okay. Did you also know that police officers are allowed to erase their own records? Yeah, because of a little thing called Senate Bill 1421, which is nicknamed SB 21, which I will cover a bit more in depth later on my channel. But yeah, because of SB 21, 1421, police officers are allowed to erase their records, not just the records on the job, but the records of domestic abuse, the records of shooting people, misconduct, anything like that. They are allowed to just erase it. It is called purging. You can even find videos of police chiefs online telling people to erase their records because they don't want consequences following them. And once those records are deleted, mind you, they can literally move the county. Their superiors will never have access to them. So yeah, police officers, if they get fired in one county for misconduct because they shot someone, they can just move to another one and still get a job as a police officer there. So basically, they're almost impossible to discipline. They can transfer without consequence, and not to mention that their investigators, like the investigations for police officers, are all, you guessed it, internal. So the people that they work with every day, the people that they see every day, are the same people that have to they're the same people that basically have to run their investigations. So the the prosecutors that they see every day, the police officers they see every day, like their fellow co-workers, and guess what, when actual quote unquote good cops, which I don't believe exist, but whatever, which actual good cops like snitch on them and basically like tell people, hey, this is what they've been doing, like, or report them in any way, they get bullied by the other cops. And other times, and most times, they get fired. And because you grew up in America, and of course, at America's basically America's roots is racism and slavery and all these things, you were taught that police officers were actually they were completely necessary to police society because everything else would just be rampant with crime. People would just be killing and raping anywhere, which isn't necessarily true because police officers are not actually needed in society. They're really not. Well, not right now. Obviously, I'm not telling you guys to completely erase them right now. Eventually, yes, police abolition completely. Prison abolition, I'm all for it. But for now, whatever, we can start with defunding the police and whatever, because they really do not need that much. But do you guys, let me put certain things into perspective, okay? So to send everyone to college for free in America would cost about between 60 to 79 billion dollars. That sounds like a lot, right? Until you remember that the military budget is $750 billion. Can you even fathom fathom that much money? Can you, bro? And you're probably thinking, well, Tin, what the fuck are we going to do about the neighborhoods that are overrun with crime? Well, understand that Black neighborhoods are over-policed, so of course you're gonna find higher rates of crime. And white perpetrators are also undercharged, so of course there's going to be lower rates of crime. And those stats that people keep using are actually based on a really small sample size. So yeah. And you guys also do realize that instead of finding out, trying to figure out ways to punish people for crimes, why not figure out ways to prevent these crimes instead? Like education, healthcare, and mental health, all of these things, because people commit crimes is when they're desperate. And this is not to say that there's not genuinely shitty people, but you also have rehabilitation. Almost every major country in the world focus their prisons on rehabilitating their prisoners, because prison is basically you go to jail to make up for a crime that you committed. Once you've done your time, it shouldn't follow you around for the rest of your life, unless it's rape, then die. But everything else, I'm just people can be rehabilitated. It's okay. And when it comes to rape, if you teach people at a very young age consent, and you understand that, you make them understand that other people are not objects to be used, especially women are not objects to be used, some of these issues will not be a problem. If you address rape culture properly, if you address misogyny properly, these things will not be an issue. Stop thinking of punishments and instead think of preventative measures for these crimes. And you would think that it wouldn't work on a real life stage, but it has. In New York City, for example, when New York decided to reduce the number of police officers that they had, instead of seeing crime going up like people expected, the rate of the crimes went down. Because a lot of the people who were getting arrested were, ding, 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 you guessed it, people of color. And it was mostly based on police bias, because police do not have sensitivity training. They do not have race training, race sensitivity training. So they do not have that. So a lot of times their arrests are full of biases. And dare I say, racism. It was full of racism, which, surprise, surprise, you live in America. Did you hear the 3 Ks? I hate myself. But yes, how do you guys think it's like logical that like black people in general make up 14% of the total US population, yet 37% of the total prison population? And you're going to say, if your first thought was, well, black people are inherently violent, I'm sorry to tell you, my love, but you're racist. Actually, I'm not sorry at all. Fuck you. Yeah, you're racist. But, you know, it's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. So yeah, when you put these people that were originally made as slave catchers, they go through entire decades and centuries, and as everything around them evolved for the people that they were originally meant to torment and keep in line, but the system itself never changed, you're going to have these issues arise. And now you over police those same neighborhoods, right? After decades and centuries of whatever, like pushing them onto like ghettos and reservations. Yes, I'm putting indigenous Americans in there too, because Lord knows the shit they went through. So, you know, like you push these people because of redlining laws and basically making it illegal for these people to exist in your country. And now you have that same system with no reform in those people's neighborhoods. What did you think the result would be nowadays? Not to mention that today's like legal system is completely biased, and the prison system is legalized slavery. And I'm not gonna say basically, because it is, you know, big companies and stuff are allowed to use prisoners to make their things for free, and they're like either free labor or very, very, very underpaid. Not to mention that prisons are private property. What? Why was that something you guys thought that was a good idea? Why are prisons private property? Tell me, America. Answer me this in the comments, y'all. Do you guys think that like prisons should be private property, or do you think that they should be thing by the government? Not that I trust the government anymore. Mind you, trust in the leave. I do not trust the government as far as I can throw it, which is not at all. So you guys get the point. Anyway, the point is, you feel me? Like, it should just be something that is federal, right? But no. Most prisons are private owned. Yeah, so food for thought, you know? Just saying. I'm just saying, y'all. It just doesn't make sense, you guys. It really doesn't. It just really doesn't. It just doesn't. I'm sorry. So yeah, you know. But yeah, for the highlight, by the way, the ones I use on my eyes too, it's the Stardust by Worthy. I'll link her Instagram in the bio, in the description below. Like, they're really good. Like, y'all, I have been using these for years. They are chef's kiss. Look at that pigmentation. Look at that pigment. Look at that. Anyway, y'all, I'm just saying. And you don't even have to use a lot. I don't even take it from the powder itself. I just take whatever is like on the lid and I just use it on my eyes, and it's just like, look at that fucking thing. bro. Look how bright that shit is. Look how bright. And when I put them on my cheek too. But anyway, right? So yeah, I'm going to go put on my hair, obviously, and then I will come back to finish off the video. Yeah, you're probably thinking, well, 10, you're giving us a lot of issues and not really a lot of solutions here. Like, you're critiquing a lot, so what can we do? And, you know, my first thing would be completely, like, abolishing. I'm a leftist. I believe that you cannot turn a system of oppression into a system of protection. You have to completely abolish it and put something new in its place. But society is not there yet because it would be too radical for them. So instead, I propose defunding, which is basically reallocating the funds that they have right now because they can be militarized, which what? And also they're not legally allowed to protect you. Like, they're legally, not allowed, sorry. They're not even legally obligated to protect you. I'll link the thing in the box, the description below. So yeah, reallocating those funds to the neighborhoods, like to where those people need it most. Like I said before, education, healthcare, and all these things, because I'll never stop telling you guys this. People commit crimes because they are desperate. They do not have the funds that they need, like housing and all these things, Medicare. You reallocate those funds to preventative measures instead of punishing the people who commit the crimes. So yes, yeah. I will be posting regularly from now on. So I'll see you guys next weekend. I love you guys. Have a good weekend.